It is not often that Nigerians celebrate their own because we tend to focus on the negative and, Japa syndrome, for example. Some not very visible persons in their own rights are making tremendous difference to our social and economic space and doing our nation proud. There's definitely a need to recognize such Nigerians and accentuate what they are doing to improve our nation, particularly our reputation. My guest today has continually been involved in rescuing trafficked girls from Italy. She rehabilitates and empowers them. That's a huge contribution when the details of what she does comes to light. The girls even produce shoes and other things, the difference of which is not detectable from the ones made overseas because of their high standards. Her programming gives credence to the fact that the Japa syndrome is not all it is cut out to be. This is Bridges, and I'm Mujima Conchola. Welcome to this very special edition. I have here with me on set, she's just been made an ambassador for Commonwealth Youth, Ambassador Malara Suarez. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Should I add Your Excellency, or should I just say Ambassador?
No, Ambassador.
Okay. No, seriously, this woman, we met, and I just thought that these are the kind of Nigerians that we need to present, particularly to the youths, and I hope the youths are watching today. Let's first of all hear from you, because you lived for 34 years in Italy.
Yes.
Yes, what has been your experience? Tell us.
I started as a house help for the 8 people around me. They send me on errand. They tell me, can you iron? I iron. Can you do some cleaning? I do. Then they said, no, I don't think you're an African. I said, why? They said, because the way I cleaned, so I now told them my history, who my father was. Late Mr. Dada died as an inspector of education, Kaduna State. Said the skills were too much in housekeeping. I said, yes, because that's how we're brought up. From there, they started telling me things like, what job can you do? I said, I can't do any job here because I don't understand the language. We're just able to communicate with signs, and I just understand and then move on. Then an old man told me, is it not good you go to a language school? May our soul rest in perfect peace, Amalia. Then I went to language school in the evenings. I told my husband, I'm going to language school. He said, to do what? When you look at the telly, you'll understand the language. I said, no, but Mama Amalia advised I should go to language school. So that's where my journey started. Going to language school, you need to practice. So I approached the church in my small city of Chiaravale. I approached the Reverend Father. I said, can I start by talking about my culture? Because I see there's difficulties within the children between 13 and 16 years. I said, I can share my culture with them, and they can share theirs with me. Let's start by that. I said, in my poor Italian language, can we do that?
That was the beginning.
Said, yes, it was good, because now I had Bishop Girardo introduced me to the assistant mayor of my community, and she speaks very good English, so she helped me in my mission, and that is where my mission started. After which, I went back to secondary school, evening school, from 6 to 12 midnight. And now they said, well, to do any course, I must know their law. That is government. And so I had to go back. And my Italian has to be very good.
Very good.
I was able to achieve that in 2 years. Then I registered for a course. It is called Cultural Mediator, whereby you learn a lot about the law of the country. You learn anthropology. You learn psychology. A combined course, which I came out the best in Central Italy. And that opened door for me. And I was sent to the Catholic mission. When I got there, I expected an office, a system whereby I can do my job. But fortunately for me, I'll call it fortunately now, they sent me to the office of the coordinator, which is a young girl, very much younger than I do. And she said, you're going to the kitchen. You're going to be helping in washing plates. And you're going to be serving when it's time for the displaced people to eat. So I was angry. I said, okay. I was thinking in my brain, is this racism or what? I went to the kitchen, then an old man came to me. He's about 72 years old, Marco. He said, welcome, Molara. I said, welcome. I said, you speak good, very good Italian. I speak very good English. I've schooled in England. I'm in charge of the kitchen. He said, but I'm seeing you're not happy. I said, yes, I'm not happy. I said, I don't know. I was the best in the central Italy in this course. I was sent here for something else, but unfortunately, my color, I'm in the kitchen to wash plates. I said, no, take it easy. Can they get you a chair? I said, where will I sit in the kitchen? He said, you will sit. And that's another story. I sat down and he told me, are you a Christian? I said, yes. He said, have you learned about the life of Jesus Christ? I said, yes. He said, he was humiliated. He said, I'm sure that very young girl is very rude. But don't worry. Please manage us. It's a story I like telling all the time. I started doing what I was asked to do.
Washing plates.
Washing plates.
Serving.
Cleaning the floor. Got home and explained everything to my children. And my mom was around. Said, well, I don't know why they do this, but do it. That night I slept and I had a dream that if you want to become somebody, you have to serve. The following day I went there, they saw another Molara. I did more than I was asked. I worked not only in that place, I worked in they call it a poor wardrobe, whereby you give people that sleeping outside, you give them blankets, you see their needs, you talk to them, you become their friends. It was an opening for me. And that was where I started studying languages and cultures. So I can tell you about the Senegal culture, the Ghanaian culture, the Cameroonese, Maghrobini, which I speak a bit. That is Moroccan language. It was an opening for me. They wanted me to get a full experience. And after which I finished, the governor of Central Italy, we call it the prefecture of Central Italy, called me and told me that from the office, they called me and said, you should go and sign in about 4 police stations. For what? What have I done? I didn't know job was waiting for me at the commission. After the signing, I went to the office just to meet a lot of people waiting for me. And that is where my story started, with the commissions for refugees. And I was able to see how Nigerians have been trafficked, not only girls, but boys. So I was interpreting in the commission, and then we have what you say, apart from translating, you give back a feedback of what you think. If I say I come from the north and I come from Maiduguri, I should be able to speak Yoruba, Hausa, or Kanuri. So there's a search, and to dictate if this person should be sent to a center in the city or to a center outside the city.
So you were able to identify the problems and the challenges of Nigerians or the refugees, as it were. So because we don't have all the time in the world, Now let us know how you have been able to navigate this. in terms of bringing hope and succor to Nigerians, particularly Nigerian girls and, of course, men that were trafficked?
Well, I did my best talking to them, trying to intervene because there's a lot of psychological problem, psychiatric problem, and there's a lot that I've done, and I now
Tell
decided.
us.
Well,
Yeah, that's why you're here.
yes, okay. Let me just tell you the one of 2016. After seeing, I read something in the news about the Oba of Benin revoking all the courses, because before the girls start their journey, they are mostly put under a oath, whereby they swore they would not mention who trafficked them, they would not mention what happened to them in Libya and all that. So I then contacted some offices that are into immigration, and I said, do you know I can do formations for social workers so that they know about this and they can help their girls? Do you know I can go to centers and talk to girls that, listen, you can report to the police, you can talk freely, because your Oba is like a second god in Benin, he's a traditionalist. And he did this, it's all over everywhere, how he revoked the courses. And he called all the soothsayers, the herbalists, the
So that the
worshippers.
children, so that the
Yes,
trafficked people
yes,
have confidence that they can,
yes,
yeah, they can
that
have a life.
they can have a life, that those courses are no longer valid. Because the problem with those courses is that if in my house we worship Yemoja, and when they wanted me to swear an oath, they took me to Yemoja's shrine, I'll be terrified all my life. Each time I want to speak out, I'll think,
Of what you
yes,
saw to.
betraying my God. So it's a big problem to be solved. So I went into that, and everywhere I was given certificates, they were happy I did it. It's something that helped coming out. It's something that saved life. And they called you Orishagbe, we'll change your name. And you can go to school, you can learn a skill. So
How
I did
many,
a
how
lot.
many of them have you rescued? Can
A
you, yeah.
lot, a lot, a lot. Because you see, when you have a calling, even before I started reading that course, my house became a dormitory. I could remember the famous Reverend Sister that came to a school, and I met her, and she said, I have to run for my life. I'm a Reverend Sister, but I'm not a Reverend Sister. I've been trafficked from Togo. And I said, what do you need now? She said, I need a place. I said, can you sleep in my house? And I took her in. From there, I helped her through the community. They got her a job because she was actually a nurse. That's the story for another time. It's a
Another day.
long
So
story.
you mean even professionals are trafficked?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, because if you are being trafficked from Nigeria to Libya, there should be a nurse in case you get pregnant. There should be a midwife in case they have to do anything. It's a long story. It's a lot.
I know. Now,
We
so
thank God.
the ones that you have rescued, some of them came back home voluntarily, or they had to acquire skills, or
No,
how do you manage this? It's very complicated, you know.
it's a very complicated thing, but I became Mama Lara. You can confide in me. The only thing I do to them, I tell them, go to the police office, report your case, go to Free Women. They'll be able to, it's an association that I collaborate with. They will be able to give you where to stay, but you must learn the language, you must abide by the rules. So I talk to them, even in front of the train station. So what are you looking for? What is your problem? You tell me, I just guide you. I give you a guide how to go about it. That you can walk, you can be given a ticket money for the monthly pocket money, and you can have a place to sleep. And I'll advise them, the only thing, when you go there, give them your phone. because whoever has trafficked you will always call.
And that way they
Your
can
mom
trace.
waiting for money will always call. Give them your phone. You are in safe hands.
Now, okay, so you met the trafficked girls and of course the men too.
Yes.
Can,
Boys.
boys, what
Boys.
age bracket?
Let us say 16.
As young as
There's a
16.
boy I needed to save because he came to the commission, but he was stammering and he couldn't talk when he got out of the office because we are not allowed to have a
One-on-one.
with them. But I managed to talk to him. It's terrible.
Now let's talk about the journey to survival, the journey to integrate in the society, and what you're doing now that you're back home in Nigeria.
Well, integrating in the society, you mean in Italy?
Let's start from Italy and then.
Okay. In Italy, I've told you how I started with all undignified jobs, even when I
No,
was
not
schooling.
about you now.
Okay.
About the victims.
About the victims. Well, there's a lot of help Italian governments are giving. If you decide to go back to Nigeria, there's an association in Rome that will give you up to 2 million, but you must be in Nigeria. First, they give you 400 euros, and then you come back to Nigeria. They send you to an office whereby there'll be a follow-up. In that 2 million, you could start a small business, but with the supervision for about 6 months. And then you can be on your own. You teach them skills.
Yes, you have a skills acquisition center.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, how are you able to run this since you got back home?
Okay. My journey back home, I thought of what I'm going to do in Nigeria. Before I start coming back home, I started a foundation in Osun State, Life Charity Outreach of Molara Suarez, whereby I deal with special children. I call them special because I found out in Nigeria, we think all the children are the same. When you have 2 children and one is doing well in school, the other one, you say, what's the problem? Can't you see your brother? Can't you see your brother? So I started with that. Then I now thought the only thing that will stop Nigerians from doing the Japa syndrome is to have a skill. In case you want to leave Nigeria, you must have a skill. So single-handedly, since I've been working with different shoe factories in Italy, because they look for us for the language, because when Nigerian buyers come, they say, I don't understand your English. And the Italians who speak the Google English, they can speak. So they needed somebody that speaks more than one Nigerian language, and they got me. So in central Italy, I collaborate with all the factories. So I now thought, I can go into shoes. Why not? And that's how I started. So I got a boy from Kaduna State that was already into shoemaking, and then we now brushed him up. And then we started our skill acquisition. In Osun State, we've done the care job skill. In Osun State, we've done the shoe skills. Then in Abuja, this is the 3rd graduates that we're having. My students are going to graduate on Friday. We've gone into shoemaking, nail technicians, and stoning, beading, and makeup.
Right? And these are, tailored towards particularly these, should we say, returnees from Italy. Majority of them, or do you mix them up now?
I mix them up, not returnees. I try to stop those that can be vulnerable to go.
That's good.
Yes.
Yes. Stop those who are vulnerable
Yes.
to go, because some of them are still, in spite of it all.
Yes. I got one of them. I'll tell you, I got one as a sales girl in my shop. I see her so pretty, vulnerable. Told her, while you are in the shop, I want you to take care of my mother. I want to teach you a care job. So I started Umbria care job with her. Fortunately for me, around 3 o'clock, she's on her phone in the middle of the night, Facebook. I asked her, why are you always on phone? She said, Mommy, I'm not telling you, but I have to tell you. I said, tell me. She said, there's a friend of mine in Libya. She lives in Kabusa, but she was being maltreated by her mom, and some good people took her to Libya. I said, what's she doing in Libya? She said, she showed me her pictures. Oh. She's doing cleaning in the Libyan's house. I saved her. Then I talked to her about human trafficking. I said, do you know why they are calling you? She's in hell. She needs help. So the madam told her, do you have a friend, a pretty friend that's like 19, 18 years? If you can convince her to come on this journey, you pay half of the money you're supposed to pay. I said, that's why she's phoning you.
In all of this, what's your message as we round up? Because this conversation actually would be, it's so long and very, very overwhelming. So tell us, what would you advise, particularly youths out there who are still planning, even as we speak?
I'll advise them to have skills if they have to japa. But having skills is not enough. There's a lot in Nigeria. There's a lot of things you can do in Nigeria. You can make it in Nigeria. You need to find something special. Not even special, like now, for instance, farming. You could farm some special herbs that are good, and you make it. You could customize what everybody is doing generally. Like people are sewing now. I have one of my girls already learning how to sew. She's going for a particular kind of sewing, which will profit her at the end of the day.
So advice is, you don't have to japa.
You don't have to japa. I have japa and I'm back. Nigeria is my home. I'm doing everything single-handedly. My foundation, single-handedly. Nobody. I'm on my own. And I try to bring out the best out of them. I think that's
so what bridge do you think we have built today on this program?
We have sown a seed.
A seed of?
Don't leave your country. You can make it here.
I like
we
that.
Are blessed.
Yes, don't leave your country. You can make it here, and you honestly can make it, because if you have a population of more than 200 million, I'm sure whatever you want to bring on the table as value would be profitable. Well, we thank you so much. I know that you have so many things up there, that inside and outside of you that you want to let us know. But I think the takeaway on this program today is that believe in your country.
Yes, and believe in yourself.
And believe in yourself, what you can achieve, what you can do. And more than anything else, prove the fact that as a Nigerian, I can make it work.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Omolara, for sharing your experience with us. I always say to, particularly the young ones, think big, start small.
Yes.
That's the bridge today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time next week. And compliments of the season.